What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Neoton Familia, and once again, massive shout out to Juan, who not only shared their material, gave me context for what the different song names mean, and has been really excited to go through a group that is perhaps less known outside of Hungary, and ultimately a group which I very much have come to enjoy, and certainly have appreciated the comparisons to ABBA and Arabesque and some others. So yeah, it's been a fun ride, and you've also been very cool and patient, even though the last couple times around it's taken me way longer to come back to this deep dive than I intended. So shout out for being so positive and patient. You are very much appreciated. And the next two tunes we're going to listen to, we're going to do a 2-for-1. The first track translates to "Once I Understand You," which I like that phrase. It suggests that there will come a time when that happens. It's optimistic and hopeful within a phrase that seems more functional, and it's a conditional statement. Once I understand you, something, or perhaps something once I understand you. Either way, it's only part of an expression, and yet it has built within it an optimism and hope. So I enjoy the phrase. I wonder when people comment what they might say, because again, I imagine that for the most part I won't be able to pick up on anything as we go through these songs lyrically, like in the moment. But I say that. The next tune is Caligula, which, if you know Roman history, Caligula is a pretty intense and significant figure, famously capricious and cruel and tyrannical, but in sort of indulgent and like perverse ways. So I do wonder whether that legacy, which again, with really ancient history, with antiquity, we do often know about events and people through very, let's say, by modern standards of historical study, judgmental eyes, meaning you do have to read accounts about people and things with a grain of salt. But with Roman emperors, they tend to be better attested than a lot of other ancient figures, and it does seem quite likely that Caligula was capricious, cruel, and a bit off the normal moral path, let us say. So let's see what there might be in terms of, at least hearing the title in that one. But let's listen. This is "Once I Understand You," followed by Caligula by Neoton Familia from their 1980? I think it's 1980 album, A Familia.
És nem a vég, a végtelen, megértelek. Egyszer a naptitokban felkel, és átölel egy csillagot, megértelek.
That feels familiar, that little riff. His voice is striking. It has a different quality than the other singing. I do love that part. either going to start fading or we were going to get some conclusive measure. Phew, that guitar. Wailing. So now Caligula. It doesn't sound tyrannical and cool. Heavy spoken delivery. Very welcome, but surprising. I really wonder what this is about. That guitar riff. Otherwise it feels like, okay, yeah, because otherwise it felt like an extended mix. It's crazy, you do a lot of these reactions and you start listening to tunes, different genres, and artists from similar time periods, and like, you just see the structure of it, at least many of the structural choices, and again, sometimes when there's something very anomalous to that, it's like, oh, whoa, like I was expecting this and it did something totally different. So I like both ends of that. I like it when something is intuitive, and I also like it when something is unexpected or experimental such that it defies your expectations. So, yeah, ultimately the Sonics, again, I get why people call them the Hungarian ABBA. It does have that feel. Certainly the first tune, like the first tune in particular, I would say, which again, Once I Understand You, as it's translated, I believe. But yeah, Caligula, it didn't sound tyrannical and cruel, as I was saying. It felt much more joyous and enthusiastic. Now, fair to say, there's ABBA tunes, for example, that have that type of sonic atmosphere and are more nuanced, if not overtly complicated, in terms of the attitude or the sentiment of the track. Yeah, but ultimately the feeling of that one was more joyous or boisterous, is I guess what I was trying to say, than I perhaps expected. Yeah, so I enjoyed both tunes. There was a guitar riff in that second one, which reminded me of a bit of the guitar work in the first one. Not that electric, bluesy sting that would happen at the end of the measures, but there was an acoustic guitar that was more discernible in the very opening of the track, Once You Understand, and the rhythm of that guitar line reminded me of some of the guitar work in this one, that one riff that kept coming around. So I feel like there's some maybe motifs or musical themes that are expressed across multiple tunes, maybe in some slightly different ways. So at least that's how it hit me in the moment. Luca is uninterested in everything I'm saying, but hopefully you found some of that at least mildly interesting. And she, nevertheless, will happily take my chair, no doubt, despite being a passenger for these reactions. Do let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.